Hey y'all, it's Chad with Old South Forwards. We ain't been on here in a while, so I thought I'd get a little video on here for y'all to look at. And today, I was just sitting around the shop, kind of wondering up something to do, and I found this little piece of hay rake tine steel. Check it out. It's just a little, just about an inch and 3/4 inches long by about a 1/2 inch in diameter. And I'm gonna see what kind of little knife I can get out of that. And I thought maybe I'd video it and bring y'all along for the adventure. And while I'm here, I've got a lot of questions on my channel about my gun. Why do I carry a gun? Why have I got a gun on? What kind of gun is it? So I carry, to answer that question, it's a kind of old school now. It's kind of about out of date. It's an 027 model Glock 40 caliber. It was a graduation present from my dad when I graduated the police academy, and that's what I carry. I keep it with me. It's for protection, and on top of that, I like guns. I really like guns. You know, knives and guns kind of go hand in hand, if you ask me. Usually people that really like knives really like guns too, so that's why the gun. It's for self-protection and just because I like having it with me. But anyway, to get on it, we've already got this little piece of steel. It's already been normalized and annealed, so I'm going to get it in the fire and get it up to heat. We're going to start hammering on it, see what kind of blade we can get out of it. Alright, got it up to heat, I think. A little piece of, little nubby. Into a flat bar here. Get kind of uniform shape there. Don't get real wild on me. Get it nice and flattened out. And we'll go back in the forward, get it back up to heat. Keep it all consistently shaped there. Yeah, yielding a nice little billet for a blade. It's gonna make plenty of knife steel. Back and forward. Almost like a little dagger out of it in the way it's shaping up, couldn't we? Get another heat on it. Catch this up with the other end, still a little bit thick. Well, I got it as thin as I want. Now I'm just gonna start kind of hitting the bevels and making a blade. Nothing in particular, just playing around here. Straighten it back up. And damn tongs. I'm kind of liking how it's shaping up. What do you think, Mason? Something a little different than what I usually do. Okay, let's get it back in the heat. just a little bit. Take that little bit of a hump out. Gotta hammer that bevel as thin as I can with the hammer. It's gonna keep me from having to do a whole lot of filing. And everything's falling off the anvil block. Alright, let's look at this thing for a second. Check it out. Alright. Now we're gonna get my smaller hammer out and come in here and kind of get that a little thinner. Bevel thin as I can. Little butter bean shaped blade. Alright, that's all I'm gonna worry about right now on the blade. I'm gonna come in here and start hammering in the tang now. Get a handle on this rascal. Right. There'll be some filing, some final shaping. So we'll get it back in the fire and get that tang going. Alright. Let's get that tang going here. Okay, I've got enough material drawn out for the tang now. I'll guillotine it, do the separation. Because it's going to have a little small handle on it, not very big in diameter. Get it on the old guillotine here. Get it about right there. Okay. You see the little indentions there? Well, they're not showing up really well. Right there, rascal. There we go. Right, now I'll forge that rat tail tang in there. Right, get that tang started. Heat on it. Back in the forge. Alright, now I got my tang drawn out on the heel. I'm gonna take my half round file and kind of true that in and cut that in a little bit, give it a little bit of shape. That's the idea anyway. That's what I'm trying to do. It may air harden a little bit. Let me cut it. Reposition this so I can get a little bit better. So I'm just take my half round file. Now usually, and y'all seen my videos before, I hammer that in with the ball peen, but you can't get as true and crisp lines with the hammer as you can the file. So I'll go back here and take that out. good. And then I'm on true. See the top of it? It's still, you know, it's not a crisp line. You could leave it that way if you wanted to. Sometimes I do, just to leave the original forge marks in it. But I'm gonna crisp that up with the file, make a true straight line there, and then come in here and cut the tang in a little bit better. And we'll do that next on the top of the spine here. That spine trued up. Gonna be a good little skinner, I believe. I don't know. We'll see. Finish this out, and then we'll move on and get the tang filed in. I'm just trimming up, truing up the edge, so there ain't no lumps and bumps in it. That's nice and smooth. See, it's taking on a nice little shape there. And now I'm going to come back here with my little small round files, chainsaw files, whatever, and cut this in. We'll be ready to file the bevels in. Now, I'm not going to polish it now. I don't polish my blades, but it's going to have a nice hand forged look to it. And there's that spine, nice and slick. All right. I'm just cutting in for the tang, where the tang stops and the blade starts. I about crowded myself on this one, but you know, we're just playing with what was a piece of scrap garbage pretty much. Let's see what we have there. And let's see. Can you see here and here? And this top one needs to just go forward just a little bit. We'll about have it. Alright, can you see that? Can you see the profile maybe against my shirt? Oops! It may be kind of hard to see, but that's what we got now to work with. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to get my file hold of these bevels and true them in. Make sure that they're nice and straight. See, it's about as thick, about a half thick of a dime. So we're going to get that file down and get it ready to quench and harden and temper and all that good stuff. Then we get a handle on it. We'll just file in the bevels. We got a nice edge to sharpen up. Well, my file's turning loose, or vise, I mean. Ready? Got that side filed, looking nice. The other side, because there are two sides. My high-tech grinding machine here. There's our little blade. Kind of cool looking, ain't it? I bet this little blade here, which is probably what, about 2.5 inches long, maybe 2 inches actual cutting blade. That little blade right there is skin any game you want to skin. Skin an elephant with it if you get him down. Buffalo, deer, bobcat, whatever you're into. So next stage, I'll get the oil quench or the tank ready. We'll get it quenched, then I'll temper it back, and then we'll get a handle on it. All right, it's ready for the quench. I'll get her in here and get it quenched. I got my handy dandy bean can of oil here. That's what we're gonna use for the quenching tank for this little blade. Don't need anything extra fancy. You will find it a little bit helpful and easier to do this in a little bit darkened area. Kind of stir it around a little bit. Don't bump it or bend it. Nice and straight. You can see where it got hard right there from that heel right up to the tip up there. Just perfect. We don't need all this hard up here. This knife ain't gonna require a whole lot of flex or anything in it. Alright, so I'm just gonna let that sit in there and cool just a little bit in that oil. And then while we're waiting on that to cool down just a little bit, I'll get my, what I call my hot plate for tempering. Get it set up here, because we're gonna have to draw that back. Right now it's glass hard, I think. You know what, I said that. Let's check it. Let's check it with a file. See, there's a file right here. Got my cameraman just turning circles over here. Hear that? Hard as glass. And it'll break like glass too, so you gotta be really careful with it at this point. Put it over here and let it cool a little bit. Then we'll get it tempered. One thing I'm gonna do, and I like to do before I temper it, is put it back, put the tang in the vise, and kind of run over it with some sandpaper and get all that off, and get that oil off too before I temper it, so I can see my true colors when it tempers. And also, you notice I didn't quench the tang, especially a little knife this small, because I want that soft enough where my drill bit's gonna pop through it when I put my pin through my handle. So it's pretty cool there now. Put it over here in the vise. See this fine grit paper. Let's get some of that off of there. Well, there it is. Pretty much what we're gonna get as far as the blade. That's done. So I'm just gonna put it on here and look for them colors to come in. It'll soak the heat up off of this steel plate right here. And then after that, it'll be ready to go. Get the handle on it. Get this baby in the woods, or a little trail knife. I think that's what we'll call this one. It's a trail knife. All right, it's coming up to color there now. You see that gold color? Nice, bright yellow gold. It's getting right where we want it. That'll make for a nice old blade. This is $10.95, so I've been told. I don't really know, but I've had a couple of older, more experienced knife makers tell me that it was those hay rake ties are $10.95 still. There we go. I'm just gonna set this over here and let it cool on its own. Then we'll get the handle on it. Well, the blade's ready, it's hardened, it's tempered, it's ready to go. Now we're gonna take this little piece of antler, little antler tine, and I'll bore it out. And you know, my tangs, you can see they're a little bit tapered. I need to get the drill bit that's not going to exceed the width of the widest part of it right here. So we'll bore this out and get it going, get a handle on it. wedge it up in there. It's gonna be pretty neat, pretty sweet little blade. Nice looking primitive little Skinner. So before I put the glue on here, I always glue them up, and or epoxy, whatever you want to use, and that's going to hold everything fast and tight so you can get your hole drilled. But before I do that, I got to cut my little groove around the end of the handle, and that's so my pewter will grab hold of that little notch and recess itself and hold on. Just cut you a little notch right there with the file. Ain't gotta be nothing big, but just a little anchoring point, something for it to grab. Don't worry about trying to get it perfectly straight. Well, I don't, because I don't want it to look perfectly straight. I want it to look backwoods. Of course, I guess in all honesty, it is backwoods. There's nothing fancy about it, but I like to keep that look. Something for the pewter to grab hold of. Look, there it is with the handle on it. It's gonna look pretty cool, I think. So what I'm gonna do now, I've got this epoxied on. I'll let it, set and take hold, and I'm gonna drill my hole for my pin. I'm gonna get that in, and then we'll put the pewter. Always need to put your pin in first, because if I go ahead and pour the pewter first and then start beating on it with the hammer, you're probably gonna knock the pewter loose and get a little rattle in it, maybe. Well, I get it drilled and we're almost there. I got my pin through here already. The antler's glued up on the blade, and let's go ahead and brad this out. Yeah, I dropped the heck out of some hammers, don't I? Where's my little small ball peen? Make sure we stand straight. Use the heel of this angle. Alright. Nice and smooth, flush with the surface. Pewter's next. Alright. Getting ready to pour the pewter. Looks like we got a good pour. Sometimes I don't. It don't happen perfect every time. Let that cool and see what happens. Alright, there it is after the pour. Got a good pour all the way around. Of course, it's ragged and rough right now. So I'll get this filed and sanded down. We'll be about there. It's looking pretty good. Let's get all them little gnarly knobs and fingers of pewter off of there. I've got this file ground down on the edges so it don't cut into my blade. Sandpaper here. It works really well. Soft pewter. Smooth that down. Just gotta be careful not to cut into your antler. They eat away at it real quick. You'll have your ugly spot there. Ready? There it is. Nice and round, Mountain Man. Old time trail knife. We'll give it a put a little color on this handle and get it sharpened up. Should be done, ready to go. This is it's a concentrated die I get from a woodcraft store. And just rub that on there. Or you can do the T. Remember our video on the T? Which is a real yellow amber color. I'm gonna give it a little bit of color. Kind of like it white, but if you leave the antler white, it just winds up getting, it's just really dirty looking. It don't look very good. If you clear coated it, you could do that. Keep it white. I kind of like that yellow color myself. Just take a steel wool, or really I don't need a steel wool. Just rag and clean that off the pewter. Get it sharpened and be ready to go. Oh, 2,000 grit belt, you get an edge on it. After that little 2,000 grit sanding belt, strop it on this leather. Let's see. It just slides into that leather like it ain't nothing. It's razor. There it is, all done. Nice little skinning knife. Like I said, that little blade, it's about, I've not measured it, but it's probably about 2.5 inches. And that's plenty of blade to do any kind of skinning, anything in the woods pretty much you need, I guess, as far as camping or anything like that. You're not gonna chop any wood with it or chop limbs out of the way, but really nice little knife. Come a long way from a hunk of junk to that. But anyway, wanted to share that with y'all. I'm glad you stuck around to watch the video. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate all my subscribers. And if you hadn't subscribed, be sure to do that. Hit the subscription notification bell and all that good stuff. Y'all know how all that works. And I appreciate you watching. I'll see you on the next video. Have a good one.